What's going on, guys? So I want to break down a step-by-step guide on what I did in order to obtain my first out-of-state rental. And I'm going to keep it very simple. Also, keep in mind I had no help doing this and no family history of rentals. I knew absolutely nothing about getting into this, and I made it a reality. So hopefully we can make this a dream come true for you as well. So let's get straight to the video. All right, so the first step you need to take is you need to make contact with somebody that lives in one of these states you want to do work in. Whether that be a friend or family or a property management team, you need to make contact with them. This is very important. This step is probably the hardest step. It's the first step. You need to pick up your phone, you need to call someone. And if it is a friend or family, you could offer them 5 to 10% of the rent income each month in order for them to have boots on the ground and looking over your contractors as they accomplish work that you need done. If you decide you need to go with a property management team, this can be a little scary because they're not looking out for probably your best interest. It's a little bit more for themselves. And I understand that this may be a fear that you have, but you have to keep in mind, if you overthink this process and you worry too much about all the details, you'll just never end up getting the out-of-state rental. So I encourage you to call them, start looking at property management teams, look at the reviews. After doing some research, you'll have a pretty good idea of who you should and shouldn't go with. And at the end, all I can say is it's better to make mistakes and get the property now than 10 years wishing you did it. Just learn from the mistakes and move on. I still encourage you to do it. I'm sure you'll still probably profit from the investment that you make, even if you do get screwed over a little bit by property management teams. All right, so that's step one. It's create a business relationship with someone in the state you want to work in. For step two, this seems very obvious, but you need to figure out which city you want to work in. Now, this can be a big hurdle, but to keep it simple, what I did is I looked for cities that had hospitals and colleges. If it had both of those, I figured, okay, it's got a pretty decent economy, and there's always going to be people that'll rent from me. I don't want to be a slumlord. I want to be, putting people in my houses that have good careers and, work for a living. So that's step two. It's real simple. Pull up Google, start doing some searching. It doesn't have to be the best spot in the world to rent out a house. Everybody needs homes and they need it all over the world. So pick a spot and start moving on it. Get active. For step three, what we want to do is break down the city into 4 separate quadrants or so. Generally, the city is in some shape like this, and you just chop it into 4 pieces, and you say, okay, this is the industrial downtown neighborhood. Over here we have the farmy type vibe where everything is real spread out and kind of far from town. Over here we have the bad neighborhood. It's got a lot of crime. Houses are falling apart. And over here we have a nice family residential neighborhood. And this is generally the place I want to rent in, all right? So breaking this up is important because when you pull up a city and you pull up Zillow and there's houses all over the place and there's all these numbers, it's just overwhelming. And what I want to do is just kind of get rid of some of that clutter and just show you guys this is pretty simple. So just pick the quadrant you want to do business in and just focus on those houses. So this leads us right into step 4, which is now taking count and writing down all of the addresses in this quadrant that you like or catch your eye. They're in that price range that you're looking for. They're not a 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 3,000 square foot house. That's just not really functional. A 2-2, a 3-2, something more family oriented, something that works and will always work. These are the houses you want to just start keeping track of, writing down prices, and then following up and seeing what they sell for in a week or 2 weeks if they sell. You'll start to get a good idea after about 2 weeks of just monitoring these neighborhoods. So at this point in the game, you should be about 2 to 3 weeks in. You have your state, you have your city, you have contact with somebody you want to do business with, and now you're in a neighborhood, you're figuring out what the houses are worth, so you can really start calling a realtor and expressing to them what you want to do. All right? There's some other details that come with this out-of-state rental, but if you get to this step, those other steps they just happen. You know, making a lease, you know, putting your house on Zillow, yada yada, getting contractors, all those things just come with it. They really do. You talk to people, you talk to your realtor, you say, hey, I need a plumber, I need this. You start calling people. All of a sudden, you have every resource you need, and at least that's how it's been in my experience. It's really, you just gotta get active, get in there, start calling people. You know, I did all this for my house in California, not knowing anything, never even being in some of these states that I work in. So I'll go ahead and upload another video where I do kind of a live run through of exactly what I did in order to get my first rental. You know, just show you a little bit of, you know, my screen, what I'm looking at and what I'm thinking as I'm going through it, all right? Awesome, guys. If you like this video, give your boy a like, subscribe maybe, and I'll catch you in the next one.